The striking idea that with no fireworks or flags, with a quiet retreat, the SNP are dropping the plan for independence, not a constitutional crisis, this strategic surrender. According to Sir Keir Starmer, the SNP has privately dropped its central demand, a second independence referendum. In short, the movement that once threatened to dismantle the United Kingdom now finds itself, it seems, demoted to a footnote in Whitehall's in tray. We can recall in 2014 the people of Scotland voted by 55 to 45% to remain in the UK. The result was decisive, if not overwhelming. Nicola Sturgeon's leadership kept the embers growing and glowing, linking Brexit to renewed calls for independence. But the Supreme Court ruled against Holyrood's authority to hold a referendum without Westminster's consent, and that was the turning point. The legal avenue was closed, and now, too, it seems so is the political one. Sir Keir Starmer has declared, in a tone both firm and faintly disdainful, that no second referendum would take place during his premiership, not now, not even after a Holyrood victory for the SNP. As he told the BBC Scotland, nobody is raising that with me as their first priority. He and John Swinney, Scotland's new First Minister, are speaking instead about jobs, energy, the cost of living, security, anything but the independence vote. And herein lies the shift. Independence is no longer the price of doing business with Scotland. It's just bad business. And despite pledging last year to put independence front and centre of the SNP election strategy, Swinney has notably refrained from making any formal demands. His party suffered a calamitous result in the last general election, losing 39 of its 48 seats. Rebuilding trust, he says, comes first. Gone is the Sturgeon-era brinkmanship. In its place, a rhetoric of demonstrable support. Swinney now seeks a low burn, not a spark. Yet paradoxically, support for independence is at its highest recorded level, 54% according to Norstat. But this shouldn't be confused with an endorsement of the SNP. Only 28% plan to vote SNP on the regional list. Many independent supporters no longer see the party as a reliable vehicle. It's as if the dream survives, but the driver has lost their licence. SNP figures like Stephen Gettins and Kate Forbes insist the cause is not abandoned. Politicians can do more than one thing, Gettins insists. But the implication is clear. The party's priorities have shifted, and what was once a march is now a polite shuffle in a policy queue. As for Starmer, his refusal to contemplate a new vote, however democratic the mandate, strikes many as dismissive. Forbes accuses him of ignoring Scottish concerns. Gethin calls it arrogant, yet there is no mechanism to force Westminster's hand without an overwhelming political will, and that simply doesn't exist today. This may not be the death of the independence movement, but it is the end of the current chapter. The SNP's electoral decline, the legal impasse, and Labour's newfound dominance all form a triple lock. Meanwhile, Starmer governs as a unionist technocrat, unsentimental, unmoved, and if the SNP cannot win both hearts and votes, if they cannot reform both their message and their machinery, they may find themselves clinging to a legacy rather than leading a cause. Independence is not dead, but it sleeps, not in banners, but in polling charts and frustrated conversations. Unless there is a political reawakening, not just among voters but among parties, it will remain a theoretical majority with no legal root. To paraphrase Churchill, this may not be the beginning of the end, but it is very possibly the end of the beginning.